crafty friends, it's Lisa. I know that most of my YouTube videos have been, I should say all of them have been on making cards, but I've really been looking at albums and watching some YouTube videos on how to make albums because I've been really wanting to do one. And I've decided that I'm going to make a wedding themed love album for my niece who is getting married. And I picked up this paper pad at Tuesday Morning for $5.99. It is Eco Park paper. It's the Be Mine collection. And I picked up 2 of these pads because for the album that I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna need at least 2. But I wanna just quickly go through what the paper looks like. And this sheet just has, several different just kind of like ephemera that you can use. These are stickers. They're element stickers, which you can use these as ephemera, or you can use them as stickers. Sometimes I like to use these by putting them on cardstock and then just cutting them out, and then using them as different pieces on whether cards, or in this case it could be an album. So it has love letters, loves and kisses, XO, falling in love. There's little journaling cards that you can make to write different things on. There's some stamps, some borders. Be Mine Paris. It's very Paris themed. The whole collection is pink, white, and black. It's very pretty. So those are the stickers. And then we have the double-sided cardstock. And we have the pink, and then the stripes. We also have another pink. It's kind of not really a white, but it's a pink and cream. And then the musical notes. Here's a lighter pink floral with stripes. There's a little bit of French lettering here on this other side of this one. Okay, here again we can use these as journaling cards. And then there's also some little sayings. Every moment of time without you is a moment of time lost. Always in my heart, love is like a butterfly. It settles upon you when you least expect it. And then the other side you can use if you wanted to as a scrapbook page. But since I'm making an album, I'll most likely use this side and cut these apart. Polka dots and diamond shaped. Stripes, and again there's some lines here, and then I really like this So in Love with You. I think that's really pretty. Somehow I'll try and incorporate that. Again, more flowers and polka dots, some hearts. That's really pretty. French words. Polka dots. And again, here you can use these as journaling cards, borders. Those are cute, these tickets. And then this was just the cover. You could probably cut some of these items out. This is just the cover showing you what papers go in it. But you can probably cut some of these cute little things out and use these in the album as well. This is the album that I'm going to use to make the album for the Be Mine collection for the Eco Park paper. This is a graphic 45. It's already pre-made, so it's a graphic 45 album, so I don't have to worry about cutting the chipboard and pasting the pages in and doing the pockets, because you can see that they're already done for you. They also include tags, and they include pockets that open on the side, and the pages are either solid or they have a pocket with a tag and then some open. So that is what the whole album consists of. So for one of my first albums that I'm going to be doing, I just wanted to have an easier way of putting this together without having to cut the chipboard and make it. So here all I have to do is cut the paper and add the embellishments, because everything else is already done for me. There's the spine and the back. So they have this album in black and I believe in craft as well. And I will link this down below. I believe I bought this on Amazon. So the first thing you need to do is go through your album, or actually go through your pages and decide what pages you want to use for the outside cover. And I've chosen these two pages, the pink with the heart and the cream and black checkerboard. I'm gonna use these for the outside of my album. So put those aside so that you don't accidentally cut those for a page that's inside the album. Now I'm going to start off by decorating the pages that have the pockets on them. So there are 12 of these pages in the book. So I need a piece of paper cut for the top of this page, as well as a piece of paper cut for the bottom for the pocket. So I need 12 of each. The pockets will measure 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And the top of the page will measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we'll cut out 12 for the top and 12 for the bottom. So I went ahead and cut my paper for the pocket pages, and I just put them in the order of how I want to put them in the album. So I'm gonna go ahead and then adhere those to the album. So I have 12 sets. I have the top and the bottom, so the top of the page and the pocket. Go ahead and go through the album and take all of the tags out and just put those in a pile. And you will need to use those later on. So just set those aside. So I'm going to use my Tombow Aqua Liquid Glue to adhere the pages, the paper, and I want to make sure that I get right on the edge. I thought about using tape, but I think this glue will be much quicker and more precise. So once you lay yours down with the glue, just make sure that you smooth it out. Smooth out any of the bubbles, just so it gives it a nice firm, adheres nice and firmly to the page. Okay, so I went ahead and adhered all of the pages to the pocket pages, and this is what it looks like. I went ahead, well, I should say, as I was gluing them down, I changed my mind on a few of them on which side of the paper I wanted to show. So there are a few changes than what I initially had, but this piece I really liked. I cut the piece of pattern paper just so that this sentiment can show on that one, but they're all glued down. Again, there were 12 pages. So glue those down, and then we will work on the large pages, these large pages here, and we'll get those covered. Now we're going to work on the full-size pages, and there are 24 of these full-size pages, and if you want to cover them all, you will need 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 piece of pattern paper cut 24 times to fill the 24 pages. Of course, you don't have to put the pattern paper on all of them. If you wanted to leave some blank with just the black cardstock, you can do that, but there are 24 of the pages in total, so if you want to cover them, again, it's 24 pages that are 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. Now, if you don't want to use all pattern paper on those single pages, you can also get some solid pink or gray or, well, the pages are already black, so you wouldn't want to do that, or maybe like a white or creamish cardstock and cut those down and use those on those solid pages. So you can also do that if you don't want to use all of that pattern paper, because it is a lot of pattern paper. And I've already started with 2 packs. I may need to use 3 packs because this album has a lot of pages in it. So I went ahead and cut down my paper to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and I'm going to adhere it onto the, you know, just the solid color sheet. There's no pockets or anything on this sheet. I went ahead and placed everything where I want it to go in my album, so that when I turn to the page, I know exactly what's going there. And I did cut a couple of pieces of just solid hot pink cardstock, because I will be using some of that. You can see on this page, I did make sure I cut out the balloon. I thought that was a beautiful image, and I'm just gonna make a spread like that. So I'm just gonna go through and adhere the pages as I put them in the album. So again, using my Tombow glue, I'm going to glue these down, making sure to get right at the edge. And then press it down. Use your bone folder just to smooth everything out. And then do that for the next several pages. So when I cut down one of the 12 by 12 papers to make 2 full-size pages for the 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, I end up with this left over. So what I'm gonna do to kind of save some paper, and I also have all these strips left, is I'm going to use these on my full pages, but instead of cutting it 5 1/4 across, because it's already cut down, I am going to, this actually measures 4 3/4 across. I'm going to cut, I'm going to use one of the strips and make a pocket on the side. So I'll still be able to use this. I'm just going to use part of it, so the 4 3/4 instead of the full 5 1/4 across. So these pages still measure 12, so I'm going to cut the bottoms off so that they measure 7 1/4, which is for the standard full-size page. And then I'm going to layer it on the page so I have a pocket, and you'll see how I put that together in just a little bit. So so again, this is going to measure 4 3/4 by 7 1/4, and then this small sheet is measuring 1 1/2, and again 7 1/4. And there's so many of these that I can really pick which one I want to use as the pocket piece. You can see that. So that's what I'm going to do on a couple of the full-size pages. So for this page, I'm going to use that smaller sheet of paper, which measured the 4 3/4. It's 4 3/4 across by 7 1/4 down. And this is the page where I'm going to make the pocket. I took a scrap sheet of paper. It's a measured 1 1/2 by 7 1/4. And I'm going to make a pocket on the left. So first I'm going to adhere the larger piece down. Making sure to press that down really well. And I am going to adhere the smaller piece right on top of that, but since I want a pocket, I just want to put glue on the sides and not in the middle. So the glue is going to go along the top, the bottom, and then along this side. But nothing in the middle. Just wipe up some of that glue. Now if I want to stick a tag or something in there, I can. Okay, here's another one, just like what we did for the pocket page. So I'm going to put glue on the larger piece of paper. That glue goes all over the whole back side because the whole thing is going to be adhered down. I'm going to adhere it close to the left edge. And I'll use that side. And then we're going to put this pocket on the right edge. So we're going to put glue at the top and on this side. And then adhere that down. And the nice thing about this glue is it dries clear, so when it gets on the edge, it's okay because you won't see it when it dries. So there's our pocket. I went ahead and adhered the pages to the album, with the exception of the solid color pages because I want to put some ribbon around those. So I'm just going to kind of just quickly go through so you can see how the album looks up to this point. Here's a side pocket I added. Another side pocket. Okay, so for the pages that are the solid cardstock, I'm going to add a ribbon around. I want to go ahead and ink up the edges, which, thinking back now, I probably should have inked up all of the edges on all of them, but just because this is so plain, I'm going to go ahead and do that for the pink pages. And I'm using the Distress ink, the black soot, and I'm just going to put some of that on my applicator, and I'm just going to ink up the sides. And I'm going to do that for all of the solid cardstock that I have. I just think this gives it a little bit more character, a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to take some ribbon, and I'm going to be using this. It's a Halloween ribbon, Celebrate It from Michaels, that I had in my stash. I think this is really pretty. It kind of matches this album. So I'm going to wrap it around, and it's going to be wrapped around the bottom and then tied in a bow. So I need to measure out. Let me see how much I need to measure, and I will be right back. So I went ahead and cut my ribbon. It's about 22.5 inches long, and I'm going to lay my solid panel down, and I just want this ribbon to go towards the bottom of this. That way she can put a, you know, a picture here. And I think instead of tying it in a bow, because I'm not that great at tying bows, I'm just gonna tie it in a knot. It just adds some decorative bling, I think, to it. Just gives it a nice touch. And then just trim off the excess. It's a little glittery. You can use any kind of ribbon. This ribbon is, it doesn't show the thickness, but you can kind of gauge the thickness. It's about a half inch. And then I'm going to adhere to my page just like that. And for this, because there is ribbon on here, I'm going to apply double-sided tape instead of glue. You know, when I do that, I'm putting the double-sided tape directly over that ribbon because I want that ribbon to stay in place. And I'm going to put a few more pieces over top of this just to keep that down. And when you do double-sided tape on an album, remember, once it's down because it's very sticky. So you have to be careful when you're putting this down that make sure it's where you want it to be. And then press down and use your bone folder. See, and here you can actually tuck something under here if you wanted to. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the rest of my solid color cardstock. So just do the same thing, inking up the edges and then doing the ribbon and adhering to the pages. All right, so all the pages are done. Here's the one with the ribbon and the solid cardstock. On this first one, I put the sparkly ribbon, and then as we go through the next one, I put an actual solid black. And then on the next one, I kind of rotated it. Did the sparkly with the silver, and then the last one that I did the solid black. So all these pages are done. Now we're gonna work on our tags for the pockets, the tags for the inside pocket. We have 6 tags that came with the album. So we are going to cut decorative paper 3.5 by 4.5 inches 6 times. So decide what kind of paper you want to be on the tag, and that's the paper you're gonna cut at 3.5 to 4.5. Then we're going to adhere them, make sure we round the edges first before we adhere them. So I went ahead and cut 6 pieces of patterned paper, and then I'm going to take my corner punch and I'm going to round all of the corners. And I'm rounding the corners because the corners of the tags are rounded. So it looks much better if it has the rounded corners. So go ahead and do that for all 6. So then we're gonna go ahead and adhere the papers to the tags. Just like that. And then do all 6, do all the rest. So I went ahead and adhered the paper to all of the tags. Now I'm going to take some ribbon, and again, this is Celebrate It ribbon. This is a silver nylon. And I'm gonna cut 6 of these 8.5 inches long. And I'm going to tie them in these holes and just make a nice little bow. Actually, well, it's not going to be a bow because, as I said, I'm not very good with bows, but I'm going to double knot these, and this will add some nice decoration to these tags. And then after you've done that, just don't forget to put your edges at a diagonal. Make sure they're even. Just like that. And then these tags are gonna go directly in your album, just like that. So go ahead and do the ribbons for all 6 of your tags. Okay, so all of the ribbons are tied. The tags are inserted into their pockets. And the next thing we're gonna work on are these side-loaded pages, the little pocket pages, and there's 6 of these throughout the album. So we're gonna take a piece of pattern paper and cut it down to 5 by 7. So you'll need 6 of those. So 6 pieces of paper, whether you want to use the patterned paper or if you want to use a solid cardstock. Cut 6 of them down to 5 by 7, and then we're going to round the corners on those as well. So all of my papers are cut, and I'm going to take my rounded corner punch, and I'm going to go ahead and round the corners on all of these papers. So now we need to create tabs for the side of the pages. You can do one of 2 ways. If you have a tab die cut that you want to use, you can use that to create the tabs, or if you don't, you can just take a piece of paper. This is just a regular piece of cardstock that I cut down to 1.5 by 2, folded it in half, and then I took my punch, my rounded corner punch, and I just stuck it in there and rounded the corners. And then you can then adhere it to the sides just like that. I purchased recently at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo these tabs from the Stamps of Life, and I'm going to use this die to punch out or die cut out of some pattern paper. You can use solid cardstock if you like, whatever you choose. And I'm going to die cut 6 of these for all 6 of these pages. So now that they are all cut, they just fold in half, and I am going to adhere them to the side of the pages. And I'm going to use glue. Just like that. And since I don't want 2 stripes back to back, I'm kind of just going to mix this up. stripe. Now maybe I'll do, let's see, that stripe there. And when I put them on, I'm going to space them out. So like that. So I have to line them up and just kind of make sure I have them where I want them. And then do the rest. So just like in a binder, you have the first tab, then the second tab, then the third one will go here, fourth, and if I have room for the fifth, and then I'll possibly start all over because I have 6 of these. So here we go. There's, again, I had to do one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I had to do one back up at the top because there was not room. So those pockets will go right in the side, and now they have a little tab that's sticking out. Just like that. I have some of this black bling that I want to go ahead and use some of these on these tabs just to make it stand out a little bit better. So I'm going to attach these just right to the center. Just like that. Make sure all these are the same size. Like that. Okay, so the side pockets are done. We still have to do the back cover, the front cover, and we want to embellish some of these pages, and I also want to put in some more, just like some more little, what am I trying to say? Photo mats in here and in the side pockets where I had the side pockets. Now I can't find them. In these side pockets, I want to put some photo mats in here. We also need to do the front cover and the back cover, and I'm going to have a closure that is a ribbon. So I'm taking out this ribbon that I purchased at Joann's. It's just a black polyester ribbon. And this ribbon is almost 1 inch, probably about 3/4 of an inch wide. And I cut it down to 36 inches. And I am going to, let me move some of this. I'm going to lay that flat. And I want to make sure that I have the same amount of ribbon on both sides. So just kind of close your book, bring this up, make sure the ribbon appears in the center and it's equal on both sides. And then we're going to make sure on the spine that you bring this down just a tad so it's not covering. that embellishment there. And then we're going to tape this down. So I'm going to take some double-sided adhesive and I am going to add it to my ribbon. And I'm not sure what size this is. I think this might be 1/4 inch and this might be 1/2 inch, but I just want to make sure that it's all covered so that it doesn't come apart. I probably, well, no. Let me do this again because I lost my place. I was gonna say to cover the whole thing, but you don't want this covered, so you just want right up until here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling this back. That way if I have some of it attached, then I can go ahead and get the rest attached easily without it moving. You want to make sure that you do the ribbon before you put the cardstock on the front because you're putting the cardstock on top of the ribbon. You're going to hide the ribbon underneath. All right, now we can do this other side. Okay, now we can put the cardstock on the front and the back. We're not going to be able to put any on the side because we have this embellishment here, but we can put some on the front and the back. All right, so for the front cover, I cut a piece of cardstock. This pink cardstock is 5 3/4 and 7 1/2. And then I also took a piece of solid black cardstock, cut this down to 2 1/4 by 7 1/2, and then another patterned piece of paper 2 by 7 1/4. So I'm gonna lay these just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and attach these items before I put them on the actual album. And then I'll attach this down. Just make sure it's lined up with the top and bottom edge. And then this piece is going to go right on top, and I'm going to apply this with tape. So this is getting the double-sided tape. And because it's so sticky, I'm just gonna start out by not peeling it all back, just kind of placing it where I want it to be, making sure it's in the center. And then I'll come underneath and peel the rest back. And then for the back, we need to do a piece of cardstock. I'm gonna, the same pink color on the back in the same size. So that was 5 3/4 by 7 1/2. Okay guys, I just wanna point out something. When you put your cardstock on, make sure that it is in the upright position. I messed up on the front, but it's okay. I'm gonna put some more stuff on it, so hopefully the recipient does not notice that the hearts are upside down. Because I did it on the front, I'm gonna do the same pattern on the back. So it should be fine, but just, you gotta be careful with that. I think I'm rushing too much, but I'm gonna do the same with the back. So there's the back. The back is finished, and we need to decorate the front. So I'm gonna take out the sticker sheet, and I'm going to use the I Adore You. And I am going to use some foam adhesive on the back of this. So I put the foam adhesive on the back, and I'm going to put this right down the middle. And I have some of this bling from Eyelet Outlet. This is a vendor at the Scrapbook Expo. And I think I want to go ahead and use some of these pearls on the front of this album. These are so sticky. And of course they're getting stuck everywhere and falling apart, but that's okay. Because then what I can do is just connect them. Not a big deal. And then just press those down. The nice thing about these is that you can cut these apart, and then you can move them to where you want them to go. Just make sure that you press them down really well. So I have these flowers from Recollections from Michaels, and I'm gonna take a couple of them and I'm gonna hot glue them onto here, onto the front. Now my hot glue gun is warmed up, so I am ready to hot glue these flowers right on here. Next, you're going to cut 2 more pieces of pattern paper for the front cover and the back cover. And those are going to be cut to 7 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then adhere them down with tape. So I have the adhesive. I'm going to peel back some of the adhesive, not all, because remember that this is very sticky, and once it's down and you can't move it. So I want to make sure I get it just the right spot. And then I can go ahead and peel back the rest. And then smooth that out. And I will do the same for the back cover. When you do this, make sure that your writing, if you have something with writing on it, is right side up. The paper pack came with a sheet of paper that has these little journaling areas that you can use, or some sentiments that you can use in the album. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these apart, and then I'm going to figure out where I want to place them. So I went ahead and cut these pieces out of the pattern paper, just cut the little snippets out. And then I took some black cardstock and I cut these down to 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And since there are 6, I did 6 of the black cardstock at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to layer these on top, and I'm just going to tape them just like this. So I just put a 1/4 inch double-sided adhesive on the back, and I'm going to peel those off and adhere it to the black. And here's what they look like. So now I'm going to put these in the album. And for this first one, I'm going to put it as a little pocket on the side where you can tuck stuff behind it. And I'm going to go ahead and just put the tape on just on the side and on the bottom. Not on the top or on the left, just the right side and the bottom. Because I want the rest of it to be open so that she can put something inside here. So I'm going to line this up with the edge. And press that down. So now if she wanted to, let's say, put something in here, she can. Isn't that cute? All right, so next I'm going to do the same with the Always in My Heart. And I'm going to put that one on this page. So again, the tape goes on the right side, and it's going to go on the bottom. All right, so the Always in My Heart, we're going to put that at the bottom of this page. I just like how these colors blend in together. I think that's really pretty. Okay, and then again, if you wanted to stick something inside here, you could do that. Okay, this one and this one, I'm gonna just use as like a journaling card, and could use put a photo mat on the back. So they can technically go in any one of these pockets that are through here. So probably just pick a pocket that doesn't have a tag in it and stick it in there. And then I've got an Every Moment in Time. I'm gonna put on this one. Again, on the right and on the bottom is the tape. Okay, and then I have one last one. Okay, I'm gonna put it here on this page. So on this case, since it's on the opposite side, I want the tape on the left and on the bottom. So the rest of these pieces, there's 4 other pieces. I'm just gonna put these as journaling cards in the side pockets. There's actually journaling lines on the back, so I'm not gonna worry about putting them on black cardstock. Any others? Let me just stick one in there. Now I'm going to take some of the stickers on the sticker sheet and I'm going to embellish this a little bit more. So I'm just going to go through and just put some of the stickers on here. Piece, which is a sticker, I don't want to stick it down on anything here, so what I'm going to do is, because I just think it's so big, I'm going to stick it onto a piece of cardstock, and I am going to then cut around it so that it's not sticky anymore and use it as an embellishment. Cut that out. You can see the edge of the black cardstock, and I was thinking that I'm going to use it as a pocket piece and just attach here and then let her stick some, you know, stuff into it as a pocket, because it fits exactly the width of this page, which I love. So I'm gonna, because it's so thick, I don't want to use tape. I'm gonna go ahead and use I don't want to use glue, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the tape, and I'm just going to tape along the left and right side and the bottom and not the top. So I want to get down as close as I can to the bottom and just like this. Making sure that the tape does not go over, because it's a jagged edge here. And then I will go ahead and lift up. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue just to where the tape didn't go, just to make sure I'm all covered. And then just press that down really well. And now, just let me grab one of these tags. You can actually stick something in there. And I think I'll go ahead and leave that in there. I think I want that one. Just so she can see that that is a pocket. This piece was a piece of the border on the sticker sheet. and I cut it across 5¼ inches. And I'm going to adhere it to the top of this page. I need to cut a little bit more of this off. I'm going to take the other part of this border and I'm going to put this across the top. This next one I'm going to do some foam adhesive just so that it stands up on top of the one that I laid flat. Added another postage stamp there. I'm trying to figure out what to do with this Paris sticker, so I think I'm just gonna stick it to this grid on this insert. That's just for decoration. And then if she wanted to journal in the back, she could do that. And then I'll just stick it right back in this side pocket. So because I have so much scrap paper left over, I'm going to make some photo mats. So I took 2 pieces of black cardstock. I've cut them down to 3¼ by 8½. Then I folded them in half, scored in the middle, so just press that score line down. And then it's a top folding mat, so it opens this way. If you wanted to open this way, you can do that as well. And then take your pattern paper and cut the pattern paper 3×4, and you'll simply attach the pattern paper to the front and into the insides and into the back of your photo mats. So on this photo mat, I'm actually putting in a journaling card in the middle. So that way there could be a picture on the outside, and then a little note can be written here to journal whatever the picture was, and then another picture, and then a picture on the back. So there's room in here for 3 pictures and journaling. Oh. Again, make sure that if there's print, that it is the right side up. So here's this one. For this next one, I'm going to open it this way, landscape, and I'm going to put a sticker, a journaling sticker, right in the middle. And then I'll put the pattern paper on the other sides. So here's the landscape photo mat. It has the sticker and the pattern paper, more pattern paper. So here's all of them. And then we can put them in the album. So we'll do a photo mat there. And I'm going to group these together. I think those would look much nicer grouped together. And then here's another, we can put a photo mat in here. We could do one in here. You can even put one behind there so she sees that that's a pocket. I want to go ahead and add some more of this bling to some of these pages. Because I have it, so I might as well use it, right? it really doesn't matter how it's laid out. It's gonna look beautiful no matter how it is because it's bling, right? So I added some more bling to this page. Just make sure you're pressing it down really well. So I added some more to this page and added some more to this page. Here is a look at the album. So you see on the front, I put a sticker on here, put some of the bling here with some flowers, and the ribbon is attached. The back is just a solid piece of paper. So we'll open this up. Okay, and here is a little pocket, another pocket, as well as a side-loading photo mat. We have the inside inserts. Here's a tag and a pocket. Some more bling added. Some journaling cards. Another pocket insert on the side. Another tag. Here's another side pocket that I added. Here's a top loading insert. Could put some pictures, do some journaling, more pictures. Another insert on the side. Another tag, another side pocket. Tag. Here's another top loading photo mat. And here is a side pocket I added. Another side pocket. Another photo mat. Here's another pocket. Side loading page. Side pocket. Here's a regular pocket and side loading photo mat. Tag. And then here's another pocket. Remember, I created this with a sticker and then just put it on the cardstock, cut it out, and just created a little pocket here. So lots of places in this album to add photos and do journaling. Beautiful. I love these colors, black and pink and gray. And then the side closure to just close this up. And there it is. I decided to go ahead and add one last sticker to the back, and I just hand wrote "Handmade with Love, Aunt Lisa, 2019." So again, this is for my niece for her bridal shower.